Hi, good morning, everybody from the US. And I'm sure you are in Nepal and the South Asian part of the world. We are starting today a live lesson, and starting today would be a very good US university called Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. We have two great guests from the university itself today in this zone. We have Dr. James Monahan. Welcome to the show, James.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Great. And we have Mr. Sam Siverson. He also works at the Graduate Admission Office for international students. Welcome to the live session, Sam.
Good morning, and thank you.
Great. Today, we'll be talking about the U.S. Um, education scenario, like, UI internationalism, what to expect, and how this year gonna be exciting, and why SIUE would be a great place to start your study career here in the United States. You are thinking about like choosing United States as your study career. I'm sure, many of our students will be interested to learn more about the programs, the admission process, the university, of course, maybe environment, an exciting environment due to the positive election outcome, let's say. So we have new president coming in just a few days. I think in days, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
right.
we'll be
January 20th.
January 20th is that day. Okay. Because why I need to tell about this, because many of the students were asking us what things gonna change, or like do we have a positive results with this new presidents or not. So we are hopeful, we're expecting the same thing, so let's talk about it. um, I'll start with James. Before that, let me officially welcome you both. Once again, we have just joined us. I can see like a good number of students joining us now. Um, we have live today Dr. James Monahan and Mr. Sam Siverson from the university, which is a great university in Illinois, which is next to Missouri, and we have very good number of students studying at this university from South Asia. So please feel free to have your questions here, and I want to start from James. James, if you want to talk about your university, and we'll just go one by one, and you are welcome to start presentation anytime, son. So we'll be taking the questions from the students after we're done with the presentation in about 20-25 minutes.
Great. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting us to join you today. We're happy to do it. We do think that SIUE is an excellent choice for students from South Asia. Is our largest number of international students do come from India, Nepal, and the whole South Asian region. So we're very happy to have them on our campus. They bring great diversity, and we appreciate that. As you mentioned, it's been a rather tumultuous year, I will say, with the pandemic around the world, and of course the presidential election here. But what we're seeing is we are seeing things starting to calm down. Our university has had a very good response to the COVID pandemic. It's remained fairly contained, and we do see a bright future with the new president and the change in administration. We believe that we've got an excellent learning environment waiting for students who do choose to come to the United States and come to a school like SIUE. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to let Sean tell you a little bit about SIUE, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. We've got a presentation. We'll go through that presentation to give you background about the school and about some of the great scholarships that we have available. And then we'll definitely open it up to any questions that you might have. So Sean, you want to go ahead, and I believe you can share your screen with the presentation we've prepared.
Sure, thanks, Ben. Let me authorize that here. And
All right.
Here. Good now?
Yes. Can you see it?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. I just want to thank Dr. Monahan for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning. And like you said, I'm going to be talking a little bit about SIUE. And I actually did my undergraduate here, so I got to experience it from my own perspective, which I like to carry on as well to everyone. So to begin with, at a glance, SIUE is composed of nearly 13,000 students, and nearly 400 of those are international students from more than 50 countries. We've seen a steady rise in our international students, and we're hoping that this will continue. And I think they bring a lot of diversity and other positive attributes and aspects to the university. I know when I was an undergrad, I met quite a few of them and befriended some of them, and it was a great experience. And it really opens a lot of perspectives based on all the different types of people that you can meet. Another thing is we have a beautiful campus with state-of-the-art facilities, and it consists of about 2,660 acres of nature, which makes it one of the largest campuses in the United States. Plus, it's a great suburban location, given that we're not in a large city, but we're close to a large city. And then we've also made the ranking of number 9 on safest college campuses in America, and we're ranked number 2 in the state of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a little bit more about our campus. So these are some aerial shots of the campus. It's quite beautiful. We're surrounded by woodlands. We have a large lake, and it's a really nice insulated area outside the city of Edwardsville. And there are plenty of opportunities for recreation. And just from my own experiences going to school here and now working here, it's just a very relaxed and positive environment.
Mm-hmm.
And then going back to modern campus facilities, we have an engineering building, art and design and science buildings on campus, and those provide state-of-the-art facilities and equipment, plus students are exposed to a lot of plenty of high-tech equipment that they can use in their research and study capacities. And they're great. We have research labs and design spaces for future employers. So the university has been investing in adding to its repertoire of facilities on campus to ensure that our students have access to the best things around. And then back to location. So Mr. Vista said we are located in the state of Illinois, which is in the Midwest, more of a central location in the United States. And for locations, we're about 4 hours south of Chicago, and we're 30 minutes away from St. Louis. So it's a great location in that you get in the car, you're 20, 30 minutes, you're in downtown St. Louis, but you're also close to the largest cities in the country. So I think we have a nice, convenient location between two large cities.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing is we are a nationally recognized university. We have many accreditations, and we've been also given many merits. Like on the Carnegie Commission on Higher Education, we've been upgraded to the realm of doctoral and professional universities. So we're very proud of that. And the last 20 years, we've been seeing a lot of growth and development in terms of our recognition and our standing. And according to Washington Monthly, we're among the top 30% of doctoral universities in the United States. And Forbes were considered one of America's best values for colleges in 2019. And that kind of stems from our keeping tuition low and for offering a very good tuition rate compared to a lot of universities throughout the United States. And we're also very pursuing diversity initiatives very heavily. Insight into diversity, we have a Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award. And according to the Princeton Review, we have one of the best business schools as of 2019. Another thing, academic excellence. So we have nearly 120 bachelor's programs, 100 plus master's programs, and 25 doctoral programs. We've been adding more and more over the years, so we're looking forward to adding more in the future. And we also have 7 schools and colleges, College of Arts and Sciences, School of Business, School of Dental Medicine, School of Education and Health and Human Behavior, Engineering, Nursing, and Pharmacy. And also, we are a comprehensive university, which we want to state up front is that. So the College of Arts and Sciences, this is where I actually did my undergrad in as history. So we have over 50 degree programs in art and design, music and theater, English and communications, math and science, public service and social sciences. I really think our CAS department is very good, having experienced it myself. So plenty of opportunities for students interested in these majors and disciplines. Our education, health, and human behavior offers highly regarded programs in teaching and learning and educational leadership, applied health, public health, exercise science, and I must say our public health program has been very popular lately for obvious reasons. And we also have a very good psychology program that's highly competitive. And lastly, we have healthcare programs. We have a PharmD program and an MS in pharmaceutical sciences. This is also a very popular program among our international students. We also have a nursing program, both bachelor's, master's, and doctoral level programs at the School of Nursing. And we also have our dental medicine program, and we even offer an international doctoral degree for dentists in other countries to come and get certification and further advancement in the United States here. Another important thing is for our School of Business, School of Engineering, we are fully accredited. Our School of Business is AACSB accredited, and we have been since 1975, and accounting since 1987. And then the Princeton Review states that we're one of the best business schools for 13 consecutive years. Great. And I will say that talking from my colleagues in the Office of Admissions who have done their MBA, it's a very good program, it's very good, but they come out with a lot of useful information, and it's a very well-structured program, and we have some very interesting options that students can pursue. And then the School of Engineering, which I know has been very popular among our international students, we have ABET accreditation for all our programs: civil engineering, electrical and computer engineering, computer science, construction management, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, and one of our newer programs, mechatronics and robotics engineering, which we offer at the undergrad level. So all these programs are available, and I would say there's a lot of diversity within our School of Engineering, and we have a lot of international faculty from different countries. So it's a very good environment for people to learn and also get perspectives from many different types of educators from different places around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that we recently started is our intensive English program, or IEP program. And this is a pre-university language program that students can complete in 1 or 2 semesters before starting their degree coursework. We're very happy to offer this, and I think it gives a lot of students an opportunity to improve their English skills comprehensively before they begin their program. And then, as listed here, our entry requirements are listed. If you have an IELTS of a 5.5, a TOEFL of a 60, or a Duolingo score of an 85, those are the admission requirements for the program. And then the classes consist of reading and writing, listening and speaking, grammar, and then study and university skills. And then, for example, if you do apply, you can get conditional admission into a program either at the undergrad or graduate level, and then you can go into the IEP program to complete your English language proficiency to meet requirements, and then you can once after completion, you can then begin your coursework in the program that you've chosen. Mm-hmm. And then, why choose SIUE? We have a lot of cultural and recreational activities that I personally took advantage of when I was a student here. At this point, we have over 250 student organizations, art and issue series. We have a student fitness center, which I will say is very nice. A lot of offerings, so a great way to stay in shape, and also, especially during COVID time, just get out some stress. We also have intramural and club sports, NCAA Division I athletics, and theater and dance productions. And then for a lot of our international students, we have a lot of organizations and events. So we have an international student council. We have cultural clubs, we have an international night, and an international hospitality program. The cultural clubs are really nice because we have an Indian Student Society, a Nepalese Student Society. So I highly recommend if you come to SIUE, take advantage and join some of these organizations, as you'll greatly benefit from them. And then our international hospitality program is very nice in that we basically connect students with host families. You get an example of what it's like what American family is like. And I know many of our students, they spend time with them for dinner, or they do certain events and activities, and it's really popular, and I think they get a lot out of it as well. Another important thing is housing, because we have to have something for housing. So for both undergraduates and graduate students, we offer a choice of traditional residence hall or apartment style living. So we have residence halls, which are primarily used for undergraduates and then upperclassmen. We also have our own community on campus called Cougar Village, which consists of fully furnished apartments, either single rooms, double rooms, that primarily are used by upperclassmen, like juniors and seniors at the undergrad level, and then our graduate students. So that would be a great option, and we highly recommend looking into the housing options to see which option may best suit you based on your circumstances. And then also for recreation, as mentioned previously, we have many types of recreational and other activities available. So we have fitness and weight rooms, indoor and outdoor pool if you love swimming, recreational basketball, volleyball courts, biking and running trails. And that's one thing I really think is nice, because The entire county, which our university is in, is full of bike trails, and they are connected. So if you love biking or running, you can explore a wide area from the trails that go through in and out of campus. And also we have intramural sports if you have interest in different types of sports while you're here at SIUE. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Monahan. He's going to talk about some of the other aspects at SIUE, including scholarships, awards, application procedures, and a few other things. So Dr. Monahan, thank you for letting me share this first part of the presentation, and I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, I get to do the fun part, the part that probably holds students' attention most, and that's to talk about the scholarships that we have available. One of the nice things about SIUE is our ability to provide some funding for students that attend, our international students as well. The biggest program that we have available is what we call the GEO Award. Okay, and that GEO Award is something that we will review. Every international student who applies will review you for this award automatically. So it's based specifically on your, essentially your grade point average, whether if you're an undergraduate, it would be your high school grade point average. If you're coming to us for a master's program, we'll look at your undergraduate grade point average. If you meet the threshold, you will receive a 50% reduction in your tuition. So that's a great value to students. The minimum offered is for undergraduates is over $9,000, and for graduate students, it's over $8,000. Because it is a special tuition rate as opposed to a set dollar amount, the value will vary slightly depending on how many classes you take per year. So that's why you'll see the kind of unusual amounts, and they will change slightly, but it will last the entire time that you're enrolled at SIUE. So if you get that Graduate Scholar Award, you can expect a 50% reduction as long as you meet the qualifications for this award. Okay. Next slide.
Just I wanted to talk to the students who are watching us today right now. We are running a slide about the university. We are right at the section Scholarships and Assistantships, and to let you know that we've been able to secure a good number of students spots at the university, Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, James and Mr. Sean mentioned. They got very good scholarship offer as well as assistantship to the graduate programs. So see, the location itself, not in a remote location anyway. It's just close to St. Louis, which is one of the biggest cities in the U.S. As well as Chicago, another biggest one. So it's just half an hour to each way. So this means it's very easy to commute to big cities. It's a great location. It's just not at the university. See the programs that you see. Some programs are AACB accredited, and the other ones are AVET. When you typically talk about engineering programs, and they got mostly all the engineering programs that our niche students as well as South Asian students are much interested about. So I just want to highlight this. And once again, you're welcome to drop your questions here while we'll be doing this slide, and we'll be taking your question one by one after this slide as well. Thanks, Dr. Monahan and Mr. San, for letting me right now.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, and you're absolutely right. We do see a lot of South Asian students, particularly with an interest in computer science is a big one, but all those engineering degrees, business. We've also seen a lot, particularly from Nepal, a lot of students interested in the sciences such as chemistry, biology, environmental science, and then going into our pharmacy program. So we've seen a lot of students go that route as well. And for funding, like I said, that GEO scholarship is very common. A lot of students receive that. But if you have any students that are interested, I'm afraid the deadline passed for our Meridian Scholarship, but we do have a large full-ride undergraduate scholarship. Wow. That application deadline is December 1st, but anyone who might be thinking ahead, in a future year, that's available. And then at the grad level, we have a couple of other scholarships or fellowships available. One is the CGA. That deadline is coming up here on the 15th, but the other one is the GSA. And those do provide you with full tuition waiver. And then there's the assistantships that a lot of our graduate students receive, whether it be a research assistantship, a teaching assistantship, or from another area of the college, where you can get your full tuition waived and a stipend to help you with your living expenses. About 30% of our graduate students receive those, which is a very high number for a school like ours. Actually, for any school in the U.S., we give a lot of assistantships to our graduate level, master's level students. So.
Yep. So let's move to the slide and get to hear more from you. I think I need to authorize your slide once again, or I'm sorry, we messed up. Okay, one more time. All right.
Okay, great. And go on to the next slide, Sean. I want to just show you what our costs are. We do get a lot of questions about this. We want to be upfront with you. Basically, our costs are fairly low for a U.S. institution, but I do understand that education in the U.S. is not inexpensive. So that's why we try to provide these scholarships to help students out. You can see here the costs that are estimated for your I-20. So if you get admitted to the school, you need an I-20 to get your visa, obviously, and you do have to show a certain amount of finances. You can see for an undergraduate, we estimate everything, including your housing, living expenses, at about $35,000, and for a graduate, it's a little over $32,000. Now, if you get that GEO, you'll see that cost is reduced pretty dramatically. You only need to show $26,000 as an undergraduate or $24,000 as a graduate. So just to show you the kind of impact that these scholarships do have.
Yeah, it's very affordable fee structure, given the programs that you offer and the ranking, the location itself. I think this is a great opportunity for international students, including Nepal and South Asia. So, like you just mentioned in like a slide, that you got even full ride scholarship at undergrad level, and like mostly students get like 50% scholarship, and especially for this year, I believe like this would be great offers to the international student as you got more fundings. Dear students, please feel free to ask your questions, and we'd be happy to take your questions and try to give you more information as we can about the university and programs that you'll be interested in. Yeah, let's move forward, Sam.
Yeah, so just to reiterate some of the value that we get, if you've got that GEO over the term that you're enrolled in SIUE, the minimum that it's going to be worth is at least $13,000 because a graduate program usually takes 2 years to complete. If you go through your whole undergraduate program with us, the savings that you'll have just from the GEO are over $40,000. So you can see that's quite a large amount. As I mentioned, almost a third of our graduate students get an assistantship. So for those students that are looking for that, you'll have that opportunity. They do exist for master's students. I often do remind them, though, you may not get it the first semester. So, if you get the GEO, for example, for the first semester, and then you demonstrate, you're a good worker, you can usually find a graduate assistant position in a lab or something like that. And then the OPT. A lot of our international students want to start their career and get some job experience in the U.S. after they've graduated. We will help you do that. We have Career Services Center and your faculty members, really. And the students that go on OPT, which is the training program that the U.S. government allows, you stay on your student visa. You have between 1 and 3 years that you can work for a U.S. company. And over 90% of our students that had an interest in participating in the OPT program were able to secure a position in their field with a U.S. company. So, that's another thing to keep in mind. I know that it helps pay for your education, and of course, it helps give you a great start on your career. So real quick, I'll run through what the admission process is like should you choose to apply to SIUE. We do ask that you apply online. It's a fairly simple process. Go to siue.edu/apply. You'll fill out the online application there. You'll sign into the system. And by online application, it's basically a questionnaire asking you for your address, where you did your previous schooling, those kinds of things. Normally there's a $40 fee. If you go through you guys, we will waive that fee. We have a fee waiver code available for you, so it won't cost you anything to apply. And then you can upload an unofficial copy of your academic transcripts that we will use to review the application. So you don't have to send those all the way from Nepal right to us right away. You can simply upload a copy that you have. We'll use it, and then if you're approved, then you'll need to send us the original. But it will save you the expense again, so that it doesn't cost you anything to apply to us. You'll see the English proficiency requirements that we have there. They're a little different for undergraduate, which is a bachelor's. They're a little lower than for the graduate. So with the TOEFL, it's a 72 versus a 79, or IELTS a 6.0 versus a 6.5. And with the pandemic, we've seen a lot of students have used Duolingo because you can do that from home. And it's a little less expensive. So we are accepting the Duolingo score right now. Undergraduate students do not have to take the ACT or SAT. We are test optional. It's not required. Some graduate programs, however, do have additional things such as a GRE or GMAT. They do give waivers out for those sometimes, but you'll need to look at the requirements. Some have letters of recommendations or a statement of purpose that you have to submit, those kinds of things. When you go on our website, we have a program profile for each program that you can review and see exactly what the admission requirements are for each program. But in general, particularly at the undergraduate level, it's fairly simple. At the graduate level, it really depends on what program you're applying to. So you'll want to look at those conditions before you are able to complete your application. Next slide. And so we will make an admission decision and approve you for admission first. Then we will start the process to get you an I-20 so you can go in and get your visa appointment. Okay, so you don't need those financial documents up front. That'll be something you only do after you're approved. And like I said, you don't need to send the official transcript until you've been approved. In Nepal in particular, I know Education USA will certify your transcripts, and we do accept that. So it doesn't have to come necessarily from your school as long as they've been certified by the Education USA office. So this is when you send your financial information and your official transcripts. And remember, if you received a scholarship or an assistantship, you can use those funds to lower the amount of finances you need to show in order to get that I-20. And then you can take that information into your visa appointment. And we're starting to see visa appointments opening back up. So that's really positive news, because I know for the last 9 months or so, many of the offices have been entirely closed. Perhaps you know better if the Kathmandu office has opened again, but we are seeing students from India and other places start to get visas again. We have students arriving just now as our semester is starting for the spring, but we really feel that by April, May, when students who want to come for the fall, we're hoping that those embassies will be open and be available to them.
Absolutely. And I just want to add something here before Hassan will proceed. We also got some students who actually had their interviews from one of the visa posts in India, though it is not so easy to secure sort of visa appointment from India, visa first for US at the US Embassy visa section. But we did have some students who could secure their appointments in India as well. So if you still got I-20 and it is for, let's say, for the end of this month or like, to Mars, or depending on the programs, you still can try or like come to our office, consult us, or just give us a ring. Then we'll be happy to like guide you through. And of course, like Dr. Monahan mentioned, we were kind of like pushed back with like the pandemic and all. But this year, like it starts with a very good news. Like the university itself has great offers as scholarships to the international students, and we have great programs here. Even like the I-20 process, not too tough. You can submit your unofficial documents as well. And I know like most of our students have just like finished their final exam at the 12th grade. They're waiting for their results anytime in a month time from now. So they are taking their test like IELTS, PDE, TOEFL, and even SAT. This is the great time. You actually can submit anything you got. Let's say if you are confident about your results, but like you want to consult with us about the university and the admission process, you are more than welcome to contact us, and we'll be guiding you through. And again, like we will be taking the questions from you from the comment box. Please drop your question if you have right after this slide. Thank you.
Yeah, we and we do make decisions fairly quickly, so you won't wait around too long. I will caution there are some graduate programs that might take a little longer than others because of the way they review their applications. For example, biology has a very specific program where you need to secure a faculty member that's going to help you with your research in biology. So it takes a little longer for some of those programs. But most of our programs, particularly in engineering, business, very quick response time. And I just would like to end our presentation talking a little bit about, this has been a tough year. It's been a tough year to get visas, but it's been a tough year around the world with the COVID pandemic. And one thing that we pride ourselves is we take very good care of our students, and we want to make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful. They need to be concentrating on their studies. And so, yes, we've got all those great recreational opportunities and housing. We also have a health services center right on campus. It's free and available to all students. We've taken measures against COVID very seriously, and I think that that's really come through in the safe. We've been able to offer hybrid classes even this past semester, and we're doing it again in the spring. We keep a low density campus, so there aren't very many students in a particular classroom. You're socially distanced, spaced out between. And this term, we are having mandatory COVID testing for all faculty, staff, and students that is free. So, we want to make sure that you understand, we recognize your health and safety is of utmost importance to everyone, and we do care about that. So we're pleased to offer those. So Sean, if you put the next slide up, it just gives contact information for us. And one thing I always like to direct students at, if you go to this SIUE/more, we've got a listing of some videos of different students talking about our university, because you can sit through a presentation from someone like me and Sean, and that's great, but I know even more important, you want to hear from people like you that have come to our university, experienced it, and we think they've had a very positive experience. So we've got some videos there that you can watch. If you do have additional questions, my staff and I are here to assist you. You can email us at the email address you see. Go to our website. We also have a chat feature. You can schedule a Zoom appointment with us. We want to make sure that we're able to answer all your questions. So again, thank you very much. That's our presentation, and I guess we can look in some of those comments. How did you want to handle the questions that are coming in from the students?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Dr. Monahan and Mr. San. Before we start, I would like before we start answering to those questions in the comment box, I just want to play our company's Bradford quick video. So we'll be little organized and then get back to the questions. It won't be long though. All right. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. That was our video from last year, February 2020 uh, fair at the hotel, the Everest Hotel, just across our office in New Banisachok. We had a great exhibition. Like we had how many? Like about 16 universities participated from the US and Canada, and a great turnaround by more than 600 students. And we just couldn't help them for last fall, but we look forward to having them come back to our platform this year and beyond. So thanks for that support, and it was really a great and highly successful exhibition for us, and thanks to all the institutions that supported us. Well, we want to wish everyone here who are watching now, we had to wish them earlier, but I think it is getting more interesting with the presentation from you guys. And happy new year, this 2021. And we are welcoming this new year with the first live session by SUE from of course Edwardsville, US. And we have great guest here, Dr. Monahan and Mr. San. We just we just finished their presentation. Now we take your questions here. Please feel free to access any question now. So shall we start now?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna take it like this. Okay. So I pop up the question here. The first question by it may be tough for you to read the Nepali name. His name is Rupak. Okay, so that's his question.
So does the gap matter? I assume by gap you mean if you take a year off of school. Is that what you're
Yeah,
referring
it's like
to? Yeah. No, that doesn't, yeah, that doesn't matter at all. Actually, particularly if you've worked with some graduate programs, it can work to your benefit. For example, the School of Business likes to see a little bit of work experience if you did have some. So no, you're not penalized at all for taking a gap year. It's considered normal, and it would be perfectly fine.
Right.
No worries about that.
So as long as you the requirement for the admission, then you're good to apply, right? So they
Yeah.
typically the question would be let's say they completed their high school, near high school, plus two, 12th grade back in 2013 or 15 or so. Then they feel like it's a gap, the educational gap between now and then, the year of your qualification and the time of your application. So, and you said that right, there is no problem with the gap unless they want to convince prepare themselves to convince the visa officer, like what did they do between those gap years. So
Right.
we at the Bradford will be preparing you about those answers that can convince them. because there could be some scenarios, there's some circumstance, or some things in between that could be positively taken by the embassy people when you are facing the interview. So we'll be happy to guide you through at our office.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good. No, I'm glad to hear that you provide that assistance to help students know how to answer that question, because it's not a detriment as long as you understand and answer the question properly. It can actually be a positive. It can really having that life experience, having a little bit of maturity, can really help you. Not only to get admitted into the program, but to convince the visa officer that you're prepared and this is the next step on your journey, your educational journey, and your career journey, really. So, yeah.
Absolutely. That is his follow-up question, of course, about how much gap. I think I just answered that. We can accept any gap, literally. If you could convince us, you did something positive between those years. So don't worry about that. Just let you know, if you got your test score like IELTS or SAT or TOEFL done, and basically this university SIU won't require you to take SAT, but if you have, that's okay. All right. Thanks
Yeah.
for your question. Yeah, go ahead. All right. And we have Murari saying good morning. Good morning to you as well. Please drop your questions to us. And I can see his question over here. Let me take that.
Civil engineering as okay. Civil engineering is a great program. They have both a bachelor's and master's degree, and you can actually go for a PhD in engineering science with a specialty in civil engineering as well. I know that they do transportation, water resource management, a variety of other things, structural engineering available. As far as the differences in undergraduate and postgraduate, when you're applying as an undergraduate, you're simply applying to the university, okay? And then once you get accepted into the university, then you choose a major, okay? Now, so in that case, we're looking at just what your high school GPA is primarily. That's going to be the biggest factor. If you're transferring in, say you did a year or two at a school in Nepal and you want to transfer in as an undergraduate, you can do that as well. You would take any post-secondary training that you had and use that in calculating your GPA as well. We are test optional. If you've taken the SAT or ACT, it can help you to get admitted, but you are not required to. We will make a decision based purely on your grade point average. Now, with civil engineering, like I said, so you get admitted to the university. With that, we're probably looking at about a 2.5 would be the minimum GPA on a 4-point scale that you would be accepted. The civil engineering, when you go to declare your major, they may want to see a slightly higher GPA in your math and science coursework. So they could not allow you to go into that particular major. It doesn't happen very often, and as long as, like I said, you have, you're not failing all your math and science classes, you should be able to move into that civil engineering program. At the postgraduate level, when you're going for a master's degree, they're going to look more carefully at your transcripts and at what you've done in your undergraduate to make sure that you're a good fit for the program. Okay, so in that case, they're going to want a higher GPA. I would recommend, close to a 3.0, but they do use holistic admissions guidelines. So they will be looking at everything that you submit. So if you took the GRE and you submit those scores, they'll be looking at that. They will be really definitely taking your GPA and only pulling out the engineering, physics, those kind of classes, and looking very closely at how you did in those classes to determine if they feel that you can move on and gain admission into the postgraduate program. So those are important. I think I covered the tuition fees and scholarships in the presentation. Like I said, we do have some great, and like I said, the most common scholarship is the GEO scholarship. And I noticed in there's another question, so let me just address it now. What we're really looking for there is a B average or higher, so a 3.0 on a 4-point scale or higher. That will qualify you for the GPA. Now, I understand that you're going to be using a different scale when you're in India or Nepal. We will translate that into our 4.0 scale for you. So you don't need a credential evaluation or anything. We will do that in-house to determine if you meet that minimum threshold.
Great. Thanks, Murari, for your questions. We have next question by Ayush or Sain. That's the minimum GPA that you just mentioned about.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
But
we're looking for a B average or better.
Okay. So yeah, to like repeat that, it's like B average, and of course, like 2.5 GPA could also be getting this scholarship, right? Is typically about a scholarship.
No, the GEO scholarship is a 3.0.
All right. Okay. Okay, makes sense. Thank you. We have Murari again with the GA and TA for PG students. So if you just like mention about this scholarship. Sorry, the criteria.
Sure. I realize a lot of postgraduate students are going to be looking for those assistantships. What I suggest you do is start with the department. Well, first of all, let me say, you must be admitted to the program that you're choosing before you can apply for an assistantship. Okay, so your first step is to get admitted into the university and the program. Once you're admitted, in some cases, the department will automatically might see you and say, that looks like a great person to work in my lab or to help as a TA position. Okay, TA is a teaching assistantship. Now with the TA, they're probably going to want to see a slightly higher English language score, right? Because you're going to be helping teach. And so it's very important. You're going to teach students from the US, from all over the world. It's going to be in English, so you need to have strong English language skills before getting that TA. That's why in some cases we have students who don't get an assistantship their first semester, but once they've come to the US and the faculty members are more comfortable with them and their English skills, then they assign them, they provide a teaching assistantship the following semester. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it right away. I realize that you want it to help you with the visa process, but it is possible to get a TA or a research assistant position after you've come to SIUE, and that's quite common. So you may not get it the first semester or first year, but for the second year, you will be picked up. In most cases, you're going to apply directly to the department or to a faculty member. So what I encourage you to do is look, since we were talking about civil engineering, go to the civil engineering website. It'll list all the faculty members in the department and what their research specialties are. If you have a particular interest that matches one of those faculty's interests, you can reach out to them via email or whatever and say, you know, I want to work on water resource management in Nepal. When I go back, I see that's what your research is in. I would really appreciate the opportunity to work in your laboratory. And with that, they may, you know, see you in the crowd and say, yep, I'm going to give you an assistantship position. So definitely do that. Sometimes, like I said, they'll pick you up without you learning, but sometimes you need to reach out. And then the last thing I want to say about assistantships is there are other assistantships around the university that are not necessarily related to your field of study. For example, my office hires one graduate assistant every year to help us out with the work that we do. And that person is not necessarily in education. They can be in any field whatsoever, but they still get an assistantship. Those are posted on our website. If you go on the website, siue.edu, look for the international page, and on the international page we have specific links to graduate scholarships and graduate assistantships, so you can read all about them and see exactly how to apply.
Sure. I think that's this
Well,
information.
Dr. Monahan, one thing I think
Yep,
also
please.
important to add is that, for example, if you get a GEO award, if you also receive an assistantship, you won't lose the GEO. It'll simply go inactive while you have the graduate assistantship. So as Dr. Monahan was saying, if you don't get one the first semester, but you get a GEO award, the second semester, third semester, if you have an assistantship, that will basically, you won't lose the GEO. It just goes inactive while you have it, because they both cover tuition. You get an assistantship, and the GEO is specifically toward tuition.
Okay, great. Thanks for making it clear. Thanks for hope that answers your questions. And we have next question by Manju. Again, the 4 years gap is still acceptable, and she's interested in computer science.
Okay. So by a 4-year gap, I'm assuming you're saying that you graduated from high school 4 years ago, and now you want to come get an undergraduate in computer science.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that. That's okay. As long as we can get a copy of your high school transcript, which you can have certified, it's really not a problem. Now, keep in mind, undergraduate programs are 4 years. You won't just be studying computer science. In the U.S. education system at the undergraduate level, you do need to take a number of courses that are considered general education. So you have to take an English class, you have to take a class in social science, like a history or something like that. These are all part of your degree requirements. In the U.S., unlike in the UK system, for example, where you can just go directly into computer science, in the US, we have a more comprehensive bachelor's degree where you're going to be working both in your field of study, but also giving you a broader range. So it's just a requirement at all US schools. But yes, we do have people that take a break between high school and college in the university, so you can do that you can do a long gap like you've mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So, like work experience or some statement of purpose could be a convincing way to the admission officer that they spend the gap years doing something or something productively. So that's what I mean.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that can be helpful as well. Yes.
Great. Thanks, Mozu. Hope you got your answer. I think we missed this, but he was talking about requirements for masters and bachelors, the minimum requirement.
Yeah. So for bachelor's degrees, again, keep in mind you're applying directly to the university. So like I said, the main minimum requirement is that GPA, and we're looking for generally about a 2.5. For master's degree, it all depends on the program, because you do not get admitted by my office, by the admissions office. You get approved for admission by the academic department of the program that you're applying to. So all I do is collect all the information, I share it with the academic program, and they're the ones that make the decision. What I encourage you to do on our website, again, siue.edu, if you go to /academics, or anytime you go to the main website, across the top of the page are some drop-down menus. The first one is about admissions. The second one is about academics. When you click on that, it will list all the programs that we offer, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs. You can click on that individual program, and the individual program will tell you what the admission requirements are. So, for example, psychology is one of our most competitive programs ever. They have a lot of requirements. You need to give letters of recommendations. You need to do a statement of purpose. You need to do a CV or a resume, those kinds of things. You may need to take the GRE. Other programs not necessarily are a much simpler process, and they're really just looking at your transcripts and maybe a statement of purpose kind of thing. So go out, look at the individual program, and that'll tell you exactly what you need for that.
And again, like our team at Bradford, they'd be happy to guide you through about individual programs and the requirements, and that way it will be easier as well. And I've just dropped the links like Dr. Monohan just mention about. It's like siua.edu/academics. So that's a links where you can actually like find the programs of your interest and let us know which one, and if you got any questions over there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Manohan. We have next going by Sasank. So about support to the international students.
Sure, we value our international students greatly. We try to provide you as much support as you need. As I said, everything from scholarship support, which is the financial support, which we do offer a lot to our international students, but also, as I said, my staff is here before you arrive to help you with any questions that you have in the application process. We're available by chat, Zoom, meeting with you, email, and even by phone if you wish, Skype, those kinds of things. Will work until you get here. Then we have an international office that helps make sure you stay within your immigration status once you've arrived. They're going to make sure that you're registered for the classes that you need, that you're full-time, that you're meeting all those qualifications. Then we also, of course, offer assistance. Like I said, we have an English language program. We have an international hospitality program, which we mentioned previously, where we can link you up with a local family in the Edwardsville area. It's not, you wouldn't live with them, you don't stay with them, but if you are interested in that hospitality program, it's been long running. It's, I think, almost on 50 years now they've been doing this, where they will link, you will be assigned a family, and they will help you, show you around how to go grocery shopping, how to use the local transportation, those kinds of things. They'll invite you to their home for dinner so you can see what the American lifestyle is, those kinds of things. Great program there. But we have career services to help you find a job after you've graduated. There's health services, tutoring. We have tutoring available for everyone. So we've got a whole gamut of support available for you, and we'll help you get to the people that you need to make sure you're taken care of.
That's great. And of course, they make sure that you won't be homesick, and you have new family in the area and also inside the campus, because they treasure the culture of having many international students from across the globe. So how many countries actually Europe at the moment? Like more than 100?
We're right around 50 different countries though.
So great.
Yeah, it's pretty spread out around the world. India is our largest, but Nepal is actually in the top 5. We've got a lot of Nepalese students here, so there will be others. If you come here, there will be Nepalese students, and this is another really important thing I should have mentioned earlier. If you want to speak with a Nepalese student or an Indian student, we can put you in touch with them in advance, so you can get their perspective on what it's like to be at SIUE. They both have student organizations, but we also have individual students that serve as ambassadors, and we can allow you to talk with them in whatever means.
That's great. When I say you won't be feeling homesick, because you can enjoy the culture, you can enjoy the food, and many other stuff together. So that means while you're in the U.S. and at the USD, you still don't get away with those kind of cultures that you were growing with. So that means it gives you a lot of opportunities actually to get in touch with your own people in the geography, or some other parts of the world. That means it's a good fusion. It's a very good campus experience that you have as international students.
I would say one big recommendation that I have is make a lot of reach out, make friends, and kind of get out of your comfort zone. Because I was an international student myself. I did my MA overseas. So just from my own experience, I would say make a lot of friends, get involved in different things, and just kind of push the limits, and you'll surprise yourself with what you'll be able to do, and that will also really help with the homesickness. Just keeping yourself busy and building up a good circle of friends, and I think you'll really enjoy the experience. So just my suggestion is, fortune favors the bold.
Yeah, yourself, you are also an international student at SIUE, and now you doing the job here. So that's a great position, and then of course, you have a lot of experience to share with the incoming international students, and glad to hear that. You personally have that experience, been through that, and you are willing to accept that fact that this is a great place for international students for all these reasons.
Just to clarify, I'm actually from Edwardsville, but I did my master's in China, so I have kind of the domestic experience, and I have that. So I've kind of done the opposite of what a lot of the students I work with have done. So it's kind of always fun to chat with them on that.
Yeah, that helps on. Thanks for sharing experience. Let's take the next question here. It's about the graduate programs. The requirement for MBA with GMAT is required or not. Also, work experience.
So the MBA program does have a GMAT or GRE requirement. However, it is possible to get that requirement waived. Okay. What I encourage you to do, as I said, go to that academics website that's been noted in the chat. Pull up the MBA program profile and look at the admission requirements. They will allow work experience to substitute for that GMAT sometimes. So if you've been working in a job for a couple of years and you want to come back after your MBA, you had a good GPA when you were in an undergraduate program, they very well may waive that GMAT. But you have to request it. There's an email they have, a test waiver request at siue.edu, and you basically tell them why you want want to have it waived, why you believe you can be successful in the MBA program, even though you do not have a GMAT or GRE score to show. So work experience can definitely help you out there. So again, go look at that program profile. They have it explained fairly well on there. Work experience is not required for the MBA, although it is recommended. We have some students that go directly from their undergraduate and into an MBA program and don't have that work experience. One nice thing about our School of Business is they're very connected to the business community in the St. Louis metropolitan region. So they have lots of internships available and the opportunity for you to get some work experience if you're enrolled in their program, actually.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Asmita, for your question. Hope you got your answer. It's about your MBA requirement, and then GMAT is required or waived. And also work experience requirement. I think Dr. Monahan explained that very well. We see a lot of students interested in this MBA program as well. So just a quick question, Dr. Monahan, do you accept the student who has, let's say, 3 years bachelor's degree in any, sector, let's say not the business?
No, we do require 4 years. If you want to go into a master's program, we do require 4 years of university level education. So you can do, if you have a 3-year degree and you do a 1-year post-bachelor program or something like that, that will count as an equivalent to our 4-year. But we do require 4 years of undergraduate coursework before you can enter any of the master's level programs.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Asmita. Now we got next question here from Prithviraj. Sorry, namaste. Can you tell me about the scholarship procedure for MS Civil Engineering? I think we've been talking about it, but again, if you can just explain in a very quick sentence.
Yeah. So very quickly, for the GEO, we will automatically review you for that scholarship. You don't have to do anything else. When you apply, you look at all students for the GEO. The other scholarships and assistantships that I mentioned, you have to go out and complete a separate application for those. So look there on our website for the requirements that you need for that.
Awesome. So, Prithvi, thanks for your question. Of course, like this is a great university for your desired program, MS in Civil Engineering, and like they say, they have a scholarship on the GEO, and they also could offer you assistantship or those kind of assistantship. But yeah, again, like you need to first do your application. Then the faculty handling your application will be guiding you through, and we at the Bradford will be letting you know every steps going forward. Thank you. Uh, I think he got the I-20. I mean, he got accepted by SIUE at the moment, and I haven't got any updates on my I-20. He said like that. So what's happening?
Yeah, well, I can't speak specifically. I'd have to look you up in our system, but we're happy to do that. Send us an email. We'll take care of that. We're pretty good now. You need to have completed all your financial information and that kind of thing. So, like I said, you apply, get approved for admission is step one. When you're approved for admission, we send you a link to what we call an immigration application, which is what you do to request your I-20. And that's where you need to upload your financial documents, a copy of your passport, those kinds of things. So I'd have to look up exactly where you are with that process. But once we have everything that we need, we will send you the I-20. Right now, we are just sending them electronically because that's all that's required. If the rules change with U.S. immigration and we need to go back to printing paper I-20 and mailing them to you, we will do that at our cost via express delivery service so they don't get lost. But right now they're accepting electronic I-20s, so we are sending them that way.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. And then next to that, provision that you have made along with the guidance, that definitely helps because while like in the international flight are not happening that much, and the embassies are like taking appointments also challenging. I think getting the digital copy of I-20 once accepted, it's pretty smoother and less costly. And we'd be happy to, receiving that way and preparing the students, with the visa interviews. So thank you for mentioning that. Thank you, Ayush. And of course, I see Mr. San has, noted down about yourself. And then you want to add anything, Mr. San?
No, what I can do is I have your name down, so I can check in our system and see what your application status is. We can get back to you on that. So that's not a problem at all.
Sure. Thank you. We have a followed up question by Manju about her IELTS validity. She got up to August 2021. So, does she need to
It'll
take?
be fine. No, it'll be fine as long as we can verify it right now. We'll accept that. That's not a problem. I realize that they usually do expire after 2 years. As long as we're able to validate it and get you approved in advance, that'll be just fine.
Absolutely. Yeah, for many of you, like who had the same question about your validity of test score, because it's usually for like 2 years that you would get valid for, like IELTS or this TOEFL. See, like at the time of application, if it is valid, that's fine, and in most cases, that should be up till start date of your class. I mean the intake, right? Let's say she got the IELTS valid until August. That's when SIU will start the program. So that means your test score is still valid. That's what I got to hear from Dr. Manu. Thank you. So I'm moving forward quickly as possible and but more accurately to the question's answer. Hope you got that, Manju. Thanks for your question. Here, like we got Rabindra uh, about like online and on-site. So, what's your plan about upcoming intakes?
Yeah. For the spring, we are doing a mix. We have a hybrid of online and some in person. What we've done with coronavirus, obviously, when we can, we have gone online just for the safety of our students. So if the course generally is just a lecture, those types of courses have, for the most part, gone entirely online. Courses that require labs, that might require specific equipment that students need to learn about, those we've prioritized for our on-ground, on-campus experience so that we can maintain a lot of social distancing, low-density campus, and handle all these things safely. You know, all students must wear masks while they're on campus, those kinds of things. But right now we have a mix going on. That has some implications for immigration. Right now, the rule is you must have at least one class on campus in order to get a visa to come to the U.S. They won't allow you to come to the U.S. if all your classes are going to be online. And some universities have gone 100% online. We did do that when the coronavirus first started, so that last spring and all through the summer we were 100% online. But starting in fall, we did have some classes come back, and we're working very closely with students to allow them to take, if they need one class on campus, they will be allowed to do it, and they will be allowed to do it safely. But yes, right now a lot has gone online. We're hoping that with the vaccines that we can get back to something a little more like normal, more of that great immersive experience. You know, I know people are coming to the U.S. They don't want to come to the U.S. and be online. They want to come to the U.S. and be in the classroom. So we're hoping that by next fall, things will be back, and we'll have more and more classes back in classrooms.
Absolutely. Like with the development of vaccine and its rollout to the public, though in different categories, we hope to have that vaccines out to international students hopefully by this year. So by the time you'll be starting, let's say in August, we might have that opportunity for everybody. So let's take it that way, because I take the example of like UK. The students going from overseas, let's say the students are also going to receive the vaccine if when it is available as well. So from that perspective, and the articles, the news, the plans that I get to hear from the U.S. administration, is about giving out to everybody. But as the vaccine numbers are available, we should be sooner than in more countries. But we are yet to see anyway. We have, I think I should take this follow-up question. I think it is interesting as well about housing and international students pickup at the airport pickup, let's say.
Sure. Yeah, I noticed that too, the airport pickup. We do provide airport pickup for our students. They should fly into the St. Louis airport. It's STL is the airport code. And then we provide transportation to campus from them, for them. Basically, you work with our international office, provide them with your itinerary, and they'll make arrangements to bring you directly to wherever you're living. So the question about housing, we do have both on-campus and off-campus housing, okay? We do not require students to live on campus, although there are some advantages to doing so, especially if you're an undergraduate. We recommend at least the first year that you're in the U.S. that you stay on on-campus housing with us. And what we do have is we've got a apartment complex called Cougar Village on campus that is just like living in an apartment anywhere. You have your own kitchen, living room, separate bedrooms, those kinds of things. And you share that. So if you want to be able to cook your own food, for example, you'll have that opportunity in that living environment. So the housing costs, I encourage you to go to siue.edu/housing. It's that simple. It lists, the costs vary depending on where you live, right? Cougar Village can be is probably the least expensive on-campus housing, particularly if you're willing to share a bedroom. If you want your own bedroom, the costs are going to be higher there. So you can see the costs are clearly posted there. Some students choose to live off campus, in particular, if you talk to Nepalese students on campus, that are already on campus or Indian students. They can help you with off-campus housing options. Sometimes it's a little less expensive, and I do understand that many international students do want to live in their own apartments off campus. It's perfectly fine with us. So you can see all those options if you just go to our housing website. But in general, I will say, because we're in Edwardsville and we're in the middle of the country, our housing and living expenses are much, much lower than if you were go to someplace like California or New York. You're going to see a big difference in living expenses. We're much more affordable, and that can be helpful for a lot of our students. But it's accessible. What's nice is they save money, get a great experience going to school at SIUE, and it's real easy to travel around the country and have some great experiences as well. So anyway, but really our expenses are low by comparison.
And also, since Edwardsville is a college town, there are plenty of options. Like if you live on campus for a year or two, then you want to move off, there are options too, since we don't require that, as Dr. Monahan listed. So I live in Edwardsville myself, and I'm surrounded by college students where I live.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Of course, they need to hear from you, how expensive it is for them to, live off campus or on campus. While they have both options, of course, they got a choice. And you have mentioned, I live in California, and I understand this is expensive place for students. Unless you have a big pocket and lots of other things to support you. I think being a professional for myself, I think I made a choice for me and for my family. I'm enjoying it. But I used to live in together with my wife at that time. We didn't have kids, and my wife actually graduated from Linden University. That's in St. Charles, which is not too far from SIUE. And we lived there for about how many? I think a year or two, year and a half, I guess. And we had a great experience of living there as a student because the living cost actually, and that means you have less stress, you have less financial burden. Of course, you can focus more on your thing, that is study. So I think students mostly international students mostly pick this sort of places where big universities, great education, yet less expensive student lifestyles. I think for that, SI is the great place. Thanks for this details anyway. And just quickly, I want to take this question. Before that, I want to thank Ravinder for your question. And also Murari for your question about housing and airport pickup. Ayush, I think Mr. San has taken your name correctly.
Yes, I actually just looked him up and I found what's going on.
Okay, great. That's great. So that's on the spot.
So
Thank you.
If you want, I can tell him because he's just missing one thing.
Yeah, why don't you email him directly? Okay.
Okay. All right. So next question I want to take would be Mr. Bishop Nepal. He's looking forward to BPS, like public health and fee structure, or shall I wait for public, or can I still apply for a string?
Yeah, I'm afraid that our spring classes actually start next week, so it's too late to apply for spring at this point in time. So the fall is going to be when you're going to have to do that. And I think we've talked about the fee structures and scholarships. Definitely go out to our website and you'll see all that reiterated. I'm sure you can feel free to share the presentation. I can send that to you.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Share it with anybody on here so they can see all those costs. But most everything is also listed on our website. So.
Yeah. I'll definitely be happy to share with you, Mr. Biswa. The reason why he asked is still possible for this spring, because I think we mentioned about online version of I-20, let's say a digital version of I-20. Does that mean that you don't need to go through the visa process before you start it online, or because there's a little confusion,
that is true. To be honest, today was supposed to be the first day of classes. They pushed it back 1 week Because of the coronavirus, they took the spring break out. We usually have a week built in the middle of it. So we're not starting until next week. Would it be possible to get you admitted and have you start online? We can try if it's something that you're interested in doing fully online. But I would say you have to. I don't even know if we can do that. That would be a really quick turnaround time. Application actually closed on Friday. If it's really something that you're urgent, you really want to start online, send us an email directly, actually, and I'll have Sean take their name down as well, and we can try to work with you if that's what you're doing, but it's really late. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I would say it's too late. But see, seeing, taking into consideration the situation, there's, August intake would be the suitable one. But if you want to give it a shot, please feel free to ask them, send them an email or any question to us. Please feel free to reach out to us. Thanks anyway. Thanks, Bisa, for your question. We have next question by Rosen. He is actually a BSM Hospitality Management. I will make it clear. And wants to do MBA program. So what's the practical exposure for international student, like kind of internship or some, placements or something he's concerned about?
Yeah, as I mentioned, our business school is very connected to the community in St. Louis. So they actually strongly encourage, if not require, all students to do some type of internship while they're completing their MBA. If they're not working, we have a number of students who are working while they're getting their MBA, so they do MBA part-time. If you're full-time, they would strongly encourage you to do internships in the summer, or take a semester where you do what's known as CPT, curricular practical training. But the business school actually has their own career services built into the business school. So they're going to give you some exposure to real world experience in the US, working in the US at a corporation. So it's very much ingrained in our curriculum. So definitely you'll have that opportunity.
Yeah. Like Dr. Martin mentioned, for hospitality and tourism, US is the greatest tourism destination, I believe, and you got many places to actually get exposure. So if you have got hospitality background and want to do MBA, of course, that's not completely different route. Different sector. Because MBA is the the greatest one, but again, like a professional degree, but you have a technical knowledge and hospitality. I believe if you want to come for MBA, you have lots of options. So let us know how you want to proceed with us. We'll be to guide you. Thanks, Jason. And probably this question is the last of this session, and this is the question about if the students got a strong profile, so what are the scores, the maximum that it could offer, and the English requirement, like GPA?
Yeah, so we only have set scholarships, right? So the GO is, I can't offer an additional scholarship on top of that unless they've applied for one of the others. Now, I don't know if this is referring to an undergraduate or a graduate student. Obviously, like I said, if it's a graduate, they can apply for assistantships. We have some additional fellowships that they can apply for that would offer a full tuition waiver. So those are possibilities. There are also some smaller scholarships out there that the students can apply for individually. But a lot of these scholarships are very specifically tailored. So for example, we may have had an alumni that gives $1,000 to the geography department to honor their top students with. So you have to be studying geography to get this particular scholarship. Or I know the international office has 2 international student leadership scholarships that I believe are valued at $2,000 each. And the students can apply for those because they've demonstrated some form of leadership while they're here at SIUE or beforehand, what have you. So we have a thing called DegreeWorks. I'd have to find you the exact link and I can send that to you and share it with you, where you can comb through all of these scholarship opportunities. It's actually all on our website. If you go to the scholarships website, there's a link that'll take you into that. And you can dig through those and try to find one that might work for you, and you can certainly apply to that. But they're all so individualistic, it's hard for me to speak, to a lot wider audience about those individual scholarships.
Yep.
I can really only talk to the big ones, which are the GEO, the GSA and CGA at the graduate level, Meridian, those kinds of things.
Because you got so many programs, and often it becomes harder, try to find out, every programs and their criteria plus the scholarship amounts that, you could offer maximum. But again, we encourage the students to apply for each individual programs and then, take it from there. But there will be some scholarships anyway. That's what I get to from you in most programs. All right, thanks, Sarvindra. And we got next question here. Happy to take the question as well from Mr. Samar Bania. He has completed his +2, that is 12th grade, high school, senior high school, and wants to study bachelor's in medicine or pharmacy, chemistry. Any idea about it?
Okay, so when he says +2 level, it's that he completed the 12 years of high school, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm there. So we have a couple of things that you can do. You would be applying as an undergraduate student, okay, into our bachelor's program. So you really just want to get admitted to the university first. Now go out and look. You can do a degree in chemistry, certainly. And our chemistry and our pharmacy school are very related. A lot of students do pharmaceutical chemistry. That's very common. The pharmacy program is actually a doctorate of pharmacy. It's called a PharmD program. And what you do is you do 2 years of undergraduate coursework in pre-pharmacy, and then you get admitted into that PharmD program. So it takes you a total of 6 years to earn your PharmD, and then you have a doctor of pharmacy. But in your case, you're just going to, again, apply to the university as an undergraduate student, and you will have a pre-pharmacy curriculum, okay? So that's one option. Or you apply to the university and you enter into the chemistry program. And so you apply, you just apply generally to the university, and then you choose chemistry as your major field of study, okay? Now, we don't have a medical school, but that's way in advance. You have to get at least a bachelor's and a master's before you can go on to med school, and that is at our sister campus in Springfield. It is Southern Illinois University, but it's not the Edwardsville campus. So in that case, you would go into a pre-med type program. So look out there, look at our PharmD program, look at the chemistry program. There are program profiles on that academics website. And you can see exactly what you can do there. I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, they need to go take the pre-pharmacy program that enables them to take PharmD program, which will have 6 years time. By then they will be completing, getting the degree PharmD, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great program. Great program.
It is. Thanks, Summer. And we got Sahid now. He wants to know about I just got his answer. Question here. IELTS requirement for VBA.
Yeah. IELTS for all of our bachelor's programs are 6.0.
6.0 overall. You don't need to worry about the section. It's just overall 6.0. That's the beauty of applying to most of the universities like SIUE. Okay.
Yeah.
For
So
me,
it's 6.0 for the bachelor's. It's 6.5 for a master's program.
mhm,
And then we do, if the student doesn't meet those, is interested in our intensive English program, we do have options for them to come in and study English first for a semester. If you do choose that route, you come in and study in our IEP program. If you complete the IEP program successfully, you're automatically meet the language proficiency requirement for the university, so you don't have to retake the IELTS.
that's great. All right. I think we covered all of the questions here, um, as we can see on the screen. Um, Besides this, do you guys think we missed anything to share with our students? Is there students here?
I think we covered it. Thanks for the good questions, and thanks for having us here. I know it's a big decision, but I hope that they do take a look at SIUE. And we try to be very open and answer all your questions. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to us with any question that you might have, and we're happy to help. Thank you for having us here today, and thanks to your students for considering SIUE. I think it's a great opportunity for an excellent education. So we hope to see your applications. It's essentially free to apply, so we want to make it as easy and low cost to you for that, so you can get a decision quickly.
Great. Um, I have a privilege to have you both here today, and then I really thank you very much for your time and for your great presentation on this platform today. Of course, the way how we receive the questions from our viewers today, I'm sure our presentation was very helpful to prospective students, and it's been very productive in a sense, they could understand the programs and the admission criteria as the current scenario of the U.S. As a whole, in a sense, about visa uh, interviews, our preparedness, and the expectation by the universities, and especially by Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. And I really would like to continue our great partnerships with you in the coming future as well. And we really appreciate your support to us and our residents especially. Thank
Well,
you,
thank
Dr.
you, and
Dr.
Happy
Mr.
New
San.
Year.
Thank you, Mr. San. Right. Thank you. Take care and talk to you later. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye. I just, dear viewers, thank you for your time, and I hope you liked our session today. And it was about studying in the U.S. at a great university named Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. Um, we are going to be live tomorrow as well, your time tomorrow, and this will be for a Canadian university, the Canada University Canada West, UCW Canada. And I hope you have heard a lot about current visa scenario for Canada. It's a good news that we have got so many students granted with Canadian visa from Nepal for studies. So with that excitement, I want to invite the representative from University of Canada West tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. your time. Okay, and again, this is me, Pawan Bista, the managing director of Bradford Education as well as Apply Global. If you have not searched about our new portal, applyglobal.com, please take your time and then do some research about that platform, and I'm sure you will find it much helpful. And we at Bradford, our team at Bradford, would be very happy to help you and take any questions and guide you further in every state in regards to your studies in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, and New Zealand. Okay, we got plenty of institutions to choose from. So once you are in our office, you will have every single opportunity to grab for. So with that said, I really love to say thank you so much, and thanks for your support. Keep watching us, so it will be helpful for your study abroad plans. Uh, our team is very much helpful in every regards in helping you and giving you every kind of support that you want. And please keep watching us. And once again, Happy New Year 2021. We had a challenging year last year, let's say 2020. Still, we have some challenge, but with the vaccine development and its rollout to the public in some countries now, in many countries, it's coming in a few months. Hope everything will be fine, and let's move forward with our plans about studying abroad. And yeah, this fall or this May, June would be a lot better scenario to share with you globally. Thank you. And as I'm leaving for now, I want to play our review of that portal, applyglobal.com. Please take a look and all right, stay safe. See you tomorrow. Bye. Good night.